simply had to get him out of her system and move on, leaving him none the wiser. "You need some help, or you just want to let all the hot air in?" As she stood frozen in the doorway, the young bartender looked at her as if she must be on the stupid side. "Sorry," Mystery murmured, easing farther into the joint and scanning the room once more. A couple of Duck Dynasty wannabes occupied the booth in the corner. A woman in a skimpy halter top sat with them, pouring tequila into a shot glass shoved into her artificially enhanced cleavage. More than one dived for the booze. Mystery halted in her tracks. This place certainly underscored the fact that she and the man she yearned for hailed from different walks of life, but that didn't matter. She'd only have him for a night. She prayed that was all she needed. Mystery's stomach nodded. Though she hadn't seen him since that last fateful night years ago, her nerves seriously annoyed her. She tried not to allow anything to faze her anymore, not paparazzi, not walking the red carpet at the BAFTA Awards with her A-list father, not even appearing on TV. But Axel Dillon, even the thought of him turned her inside out. Mystery glanced around again, easing farther inside. Some biker types in the far corner playing pool eyed her. The bartender still stared down his pierced nose at her. 3 cops huddled together, all turned and focused on her. Did they think she was casing the place for a robbery? She had to stop standing in the middle of the room like an idiot. Take a seat and order a drink. Finally, her head forced her to obey, and she eased into a little booth near the back. Once she'd seated herself, everyone around her started talking again, and from her new vantage point, she could see the back half of the bar, previously obscured by the wall of televisions. There he sat, absently staring at ESPN and sipping a beer, his profile strong. As usual, his rugged face was unreadable. He still kept his dark blonde hair military short, and he still looked like the side of a mountain. Somewhere around 6'5", he'd always been built big, but in the last few years she'd swear he'd put on another slab of muscle. His tight black t-shirt hugged every hard swell and lean dip, tapering past a flat belly to narrow hips. She had to hold in a sigh. Even a single glance of him made her heart knock against her ribs and everything below her waist tingle. Mystery swallowed. He didn't once look her way. Somehow she'd hoped their stares would lock. He would approach her, want her, and whisk her away for a spectacular night of unbridled sex that would blow away both her panties and her mind. But right now, he clearly had no idea she existed. On shaking knees, she stood again and headed in his direction. She tried not to stare. A glance up at the television proved he watched a recap of a pro basketball game. With a grunt, he glanced down into the neck of his beer bottle as she slid onto the empty stool beside him. Now that he was so near, Mystery could feel his body heat, smell him. Rugged earth, cut wood, musk. Damn, being this close made her feel both safe and weak. "Something on your mind?" He turned to her, his stare expectant. She searched his expression and didn't see a hint of recognition on his large, blunt face. What a relief. But the cleft in his chin and his bright blue eyes still made her feel weak and wanting. The instant chemical attraction she'd felt years ago hadn't waned in the least. "There is." She mimicked the British accents she'd been surrounded with since she'd fled the U.S., and him, over 6 years ago. Her assertion obviously surprised him. Though he narrowed his eyes, they pierced her. "I'll bite. Lay it on me." The bartender chose that moment to come around and plunk a napkin in front of her. "Now that you found a seat, you want a drink?" A glass of vino sounded heavenly. "Do you have a wine list, please?" He snorted. "No, I got 3 types, red, white, and pink." Mystery paused. She hadn't expected anything private label, but surely more of a selection than that. "Is the white a Pinot Grigio?" The bartender looked as if he was losing patience. "I don't know what kind it is, but the jug of white I have is as close as I've got. You want some or not?" That could be seriously terrible. "Then I'll have a glass of water, please." Better to keep a clear head anyway. "Thank you." As he turned and grabbed a glass, the bartender shook his head and muttered something to himself. Mystery really didn't want to know what. I'm not sure what threw him off more, your accent.